Okay.
You know.
I know.
You cannot be a co-host on this show unless we are prepared to pull something from the Google and talk about it.
I learned that recently.
Today, it's not from the Google.
So you're breaking your own rule.
Today, it is from my buddy who owns Newsletter Pro. Newsletter Pro is it's probably the top newsletter professional for B2B professionals in the country. They're actually out of Canada. They do an exceptional job, and he writes a newsletter himself and sends it out to his clients, and I'm one of them. And I want to read to you this. He's been in business 12 years. And so I'm going to go through these, and if you've got a thought, let me know. I want to hear if Patrick's got something to say about these things, okay?
I usually can't shut up, so I probably have thoughts on most everything there.
Well, I've already read this, and this guy's just right on. He really is. He's saying, here are the things I want you to know about. I've been in business 12 years. He's very successful, multi-million-dollar business that he's created, helping people send out newsletters, specializing in B2B. Here's number one, okay? Fear is healthy. A little bit of paranoia is actually healthy for small business people. I've just found that to be absolutely true. I have yet to meet a good small business person that doesn't hate its competitor. When I say hate, I mean in jest. But I mean, truly, you really are looking at competitors and you really are wondering what are they doing because you want to stay one step ahead of them. And I just find that to be very common. And it's funny that he made that number one because most of us small business people, we are always thinking, what if, there's a competitor doing something.
Reminds me of a phrase I've heard a lot in the last few years, and I'll paraphrase it. Everything you want is right on the other side of fear.
Interesting.
Everything you want.
Interesting. Okay, Wilton is looking at me like you're not going to miss this cue again, are you?
We just started.
We're not going to miss it. We're not going to miss it. Are you ready?
I am ready. I am ready. I am ready.
You are listening to Local Biz Now. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk some more about the top things to know for small business people. If it's Monday afternoon, say it, Patrick.
Your business matters.
Yeah. We'll be right back. Yes, I see. Say it, Patrick. Say it.
Your business matters.
Yeah, that's right. And we are here live at the Burners Cigar Studio, home of the finest premium cigars and cigar smokers in the world. Great people, premium cigars. Life is good at Burners Cigars, located in Birkdale. Please go by there and buy a gift for your significant other. Tell Josh that Joe sent you. Okay, so what we were doing with my no account, no good for nothing, don't know nothing co-host.
You're welcome.
Patrick Reynolds, a.k.a. Lake Norman Kardashian, because everybody wants to be a Patrick.
Everybody needs a Julie.
Everybody needs a Julie.
But everybody wants to be a Patrick.
Nobody needs Patrick. Okay, so, but it's interesting that I pick on you like that because you and I used to do breakfast for years.
Yes.
And you were my go-to person for advice.
We ran a lot of ideas past each other on Friday mornings.
That's right. So when people hear me picking on you, if they really knew me, they know I'm just picking
If they know us, it's a good natured.
If they don't, I'm burning you up.
There's a Joe Bagnone hate club out there if they don't know us. So let's let the audience know. Okay. Yeah, we're friends. We like each other. It's all good.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something else, pal.
Okay, so we're gonna talk about the 12 things that small business people need to know.
Yes.
We already talked about number one.
Yes.
Fear and paranoia is good. Number two. To succeed, take boredom out of your vocabulary.
I like that.
So, this is kind of interesting because some small business people need to do the same thing day in and day out. They need to do that because that's what the customer wants. The customer wants that consistency. I go there for the same thing, right? If I want something different, I'm going to a different business, right? And so you might be bored, but the customer wants what it is you're providing and make sure you continue to provide them with value. So that's really what he's talking about here. Listen, if you don't want to do it, then go ahead and pay somebody else to do it for you.
That avenue, just take the boredom out of it. I think as a business owner, you have to be able to pivot and adjust because your customer may stay the same, but the market does not. The market in itself in any business will change. It evolves over time. However, one-to-one with a customer, you may have that customer for 30 years. They may stick with the same thing. However, don't think all your customers are like that. Your market and your customer base will change. Pay attention to that. You have to pivot with that.
Okay, wait, you getting ahead.
Am I getting ahead?
You getting ahead.
So I am good for something.
You getting
Finally.
You getting it. You surprising me.
Okay.
You might actually know something.
Maybe.
Okay. Number 3.
All right.
Just hang on to that thought. Because
It's-
that ain't number 2. Let me just be clear. It's not number 2, okay?
Still trap
Okay.
between years. Still trap. I'm holding the thought.
You need to gather customer data. I got to tell you something. This is a big one. This is a modern day thing. Most of small business people really could not care who our customer was. We cared how many, we would count what they were buying, but we wouldn't actually care about the actual client. And nowadays, the data is extremely important.
I think who the person is matters. We discussed that before the show started. With our guests coming up, we're going to delve into this aspect, I believe, that KLT, know, like, trust. Who are they? You build business through relationships. If you like someone and know them, it's already sold. You're going to pick up the phone and do business with them. I believe that's what this is saying. That's that aspect.
Okay. Number 4.
Yeah.
When it comes to marketing, diversity is king. And listen, I've heard this many, many times, which is omni-channel, right? Like you have to do all the different things that are out there. Julie been forcing me to do the book, and to do the tubes. And listen, I'm a 60-year-old man. I got to be honest with you. I don't like all that social media, but it absolutely is important. You cannot brand yourself and your company unless you're doing that. And that's what this is talking about. Use all the medias. Try and be out there in some fashion.
All your customers are not coming from one spot. They're coming from various places. Whether you like that space or not is irrelevant. You have to keep track of your people, where they're coming from.
You know what that reminds me of? Years ago, I was a master at the Yellow Pages. I knew exactly where to put the ad. I knew exactly. And when I wanted to really ramp things up, I buy me a full page, and I know I'm going to dominate. But I hated the Yellow Pages. It's just something I had to do.
Whether you like it or not, doesn't matter.
You got me there. You got me there. You're right. You got me. Okay, number 5. Plug all your data into a CRM system. For those of you, if you don't know what CRM means, you're behind. It means customer relationship management. You have to have some kind of software system. That is just paramount nowadays.
People did it, like you said, back in the old days, way, way, way back. It was a ledger. It was a notebook. It was a pen and paper. Now,
or it was the Rolodex.
That was another way. It was a notebook. But either way, you kept track of it.
Here's a test. I wonder how many people listening even know what a Rolodex is.
Hand raised. I know what the Yellow Pages are. I know what a Rolodex is. Yes.
Record player.
I had a record player. I know what 8 tracks are. Yeah, good stuff.
Okay. So number 6.
6.
Your customers and prospects are happy when you give them added value. I can't tell you how many people miss the point. They want additional information. They want to be given and consulted and given advice, and they don't want you to charge them another 10 cents for that kind of stuff.
They've positioned you, the business, as the expert in the field. They want to come to you for solutions to whatever problem they have. They don't want you to say maybe miss the lift. They want to know what's the answer to whatever problem I have, whatever service, whatever something, the widget off the shelf. I need something to fix whatever I got going on in my life. Be the expert.
And or have the referral to help them with somebody that can know. Because you don't have to know everything.
No, but if you can, you got to know a guy.
You got to know a guy.
You got to
know a guy.
Even if the guy's a woman. You got to know a guy.
That's right.
You got to have a guy.
That's right. You're right about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so number 7.
7.
If you have a sloppy sales funnel, you will lose leads. Now, most people that have a sloppy sales funnel, they don't know what this means right here. But there really is a system and a process. Julie and I spent years knowing exactly how to plug in, whether it's and we have a title for them on our CRM system. There's an inquiry, right, person, or there is a person that may in fact be wanting to sell their business, a seller. And we literally have a system and a process that we put them through. If you don't have that, I'm telling you, you are losing sales. No question about it.
You know what Wes Muntz taught me about the sales funnel? He phrased it like this: you have to flood the sales funnel for revenue to drip out. That sales funnel has to constantly be filled, and you have to stay organized with where they're coming from and keep flooding it. Revenue drips.
And number 8 is build a never-ending sales funnel. That means these omni-channels, you have to keep things flowing constantly into this system, into this process.
We live in Lake Norman. You might have had a customer for 30 years, but there's new people moving here every single day.
Or in my case, the truth is, I may know them for 5 years, right? But it may be the 6th year that they decide to sell their business. So I've got a long lead time. You know, my son made fun of me one day, and he said, "Yeah, Dad, that means they got to like you for 6 years." That's hard.
Good thing you don't sell 30-year mortgages. Those poor people, huh?
Okay, don't cancel. Number 9, don't cancel successful programs just because there's another program out there, a company out there offering something better and shinier and that sort of stuff. Now, that's hard to do because remember, number 1, we're kind of paranoid, so we're always afraid somebody else is going to try that shiny new marketing technique, so I want to try it too. So this one's kind of tricky for me.
I file that under the diversification that you talked about earlier with the social media, where your customers are coming from. Just because you find them in a new spot doesn't mean the old one isn't working. Go with an and rather than an or on this one. Yes, keep bringing in new customers through a new avenue.
That steel trap is working today.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Did you know I give talks on sales improvement?
Okay.
I do.
I know you give the talks and the speeches and all
People
that.
People show up for it, too.
They actually show up today.
People show up. They want to hear me talk. A public speaker. People talk.
Number 10.
10.
Customer consistency equals stability. I kind of already touched on that up a few points. To me, that's like just the core. I believe the client has to know what they expect before they ever get. The expectation is so important.
The consistency. Constantly give them good service every single time. Wise words my dad shared with me. It will take you 2 years to build a customer, but it will take you only 2 minutes to lose them. Keep that up. Just because they're a long-time customer, keep that customer service up and at the highest regard every time they come through the door.
And this is also breaking up into 2 points. They're saying consistently keep in contact with them also.
Yeah.
Which is what he does as a newsletter professional, right?
Another Wes Muntz lesson is that every so many 30 days, 60 days, whatever the customer is, pick up a phone, just call them, see how they're doing. Don't try to sell them anything. See how they're doing, see how things are going, see how you can help with whatever they have going on. Sometimes you might just talk about the kid's softball game. Good, that's building relationships, but just touch them.
About a year and a half ago, I had a guy just bothering me.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
I don't really like people. You understand? And so he was just bothering me. And he called me 4 or 5 times, leaving messages, texting me, emailing me, and then he said, "Hey Joe, I got this new cigar I want to drop by." I text him, "Okay, fine, everybody, you come on by." So once you get to know them, you know how to connect with them.
You're a human too.
We started doing business. He got me on the cigar.
Who are you as a person?
Okay, number 11.
11.
Check your ego at the door. I must tell you that is probably the biggest challenge I have in my business, that there are so many. And, it's kind of catch-22 because you got to have an ego with you to be able to do that, to be able to do this business.
Agreed. When I'm on stage, it's tough for me. I got to keep my head small.
Last one.
Yep, 12.
Ask if you don't know. That's the last one.
Admit it. I always respect somebody if they say they don't know something, but I'll find out, as opposed to the person that'll flub it and try to act like they do. I appreciate that as a two-way street.
Okay, we're gonna talk to our guest when we get back. You are listening to Patrick.
Say it.
Kardashian.
There you go.
If it's WSIC.
3 sentences. You put a period after each one. Your business matters. That's how you say it. That's how you say it.
Yeah, we'll be right back.